I was telling you how I was trying to become, I was like, boy, I'm going to look like Father of the Year because I pulled my son Dutch out of school to take him to go see the Avengers screening of Endgame before it comes out. I'm going camping with my oldest son this weekend at the Grand Canyon, father and son, right? And then my son Kemp, who's a big basketball fan, I had got us 4 seats to the Trailblazers game last night. Now, Kyle and Suzette, did you guys happen to watch the Trailblazers game? Did you see anything that happened or hear about it yet?
It was all over social media.
Yeah.
That one player.
Damian Lillard.
Lillard, yes. I just saw his face all over social media.
They had to come back. There was like 2 minutes left. They were down by 10, and they ended up catching up, and then he hit a buzzer beater and won. With you could not have written a movie more like the timing of this thing. And if you're new to the show and you don't know this, or maybe you've been listening for a couple of years, I'm a guy, and Rich can tell you, I knew nothing about sports.
It sure is weird hearing you talk basketball. And
I know.
You get names and buzzer beater and terms right. It is weird.
Because my son Kemp is a big basketball fan, a basketball player, so it's been pretty crazy. So yesterday, I was supposed to go take my son to the game, and we had floor seats. But because of certain circumstances, I ended up not being able to go, right?
So sad.
So sad, especially at the end of the night when we get home and we turn on the game and we listen to the game and we're watching the game and he hits the buzzer beater and Kemp is just like, we were supposed to be there. Like it's like some people are calling it like the greatest game in the history of basketball.
Yeah. They say that shot will be talked about for years and years and years.
So something happened that's pretty cool. Listen.
Lillard with 47 tonight. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
Right?
What? Blazer!
So everybody ran on the floor. Like we were there. We were like I was like out of all the basketball games in the world to go to, that was the one.
Oh,
and
that hurts.
I had everything set up, man. I had everything, and we just couldn't. So my son Kemp was working out instead of going to the game, and so we missed that game. And it just blows my mind, like my life. Like I could have gone. Like there's a million basketball games I've gone to and could have gone to, and this one was the greatest, easiest layout of all time. And it's like, here's your floor seats to sit on the floor to the greatest basketball game in the history of basketball.
And to meet him, right? Didn't he have...
Yeah, we've met him before.
Oh, okay.
In fact, this Damian Lillard is amazing. He's an incredible human being. My son, Dutch, we went when he first dropped his new line of shoes at Adidas. Dutch got a pair of his shoes and wore them to the game, and Lillard saw him and ran over and autographed them.
Oh, that's so sick.
If you go to the Johnjay and Rich Instagram account, you can swipe through, you can see them all. It was pretty amazing.
On social media, they are calling it possibly the best clutch shot of all time.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to be reminded about it all day because that's like the meme today.
It's everywhere.
When you watch it, it's like, that's impossible. If you were making a movie, you'd be like, no.
Right.
Doesn't happen.
No, it was amazing.
And the guy's pretty much in the middle half court.
It's crazy.
Like it didn't even look like he was trying that hard.
His coach, his shooting coach, is a friend of mine. Like that's the part that blows my mind too. Like it was, and him and I were going to the game. We were going to go together with my son to the game, and he's the guy that he thanks, that Lillard thanks everywhere. I mean, it's crazy, man. So anyway, again, if you're new to the show or you've been listening to the show, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm a guy that knows nothing about sports, and I've been surrounded by sports my entire life. Like
so
I was at the basketball game when Michael Jordan won his first championship. I was there. I saw Mike Tyson fight 5 times. I've been like and these are all things that like, why can't I be friends with the cast of Will and Grace?
Didn't you drive around?
Why am I?
Didn't you also drive around Wayne Gretzky, who they call the Great One? That's it. They say the Great One.
Yeah.
It's Wayne. You have to drive him around.
I had to drive him around. It was either him or Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains, and I got all excited about Kirk Cameron, so they made me take this Wayne Gretzky guy, and I was like, oh, really? So anyway, what's funny about it is now everything happens for a reason. You know, like I've told you guys with my theories with Tony Robbins, he always says sometimes things happen, you don't know why, and you got to look back later, you'll know. And maybe what happened last night by me not taking my son to this game is that maybe it's more fun to talk about how we could have been at that game.
That's looking at the glass half full.
Everyone always talks about being there.
Did you see where your seats?
I could have been there. That's even better.
When you're watching the game, do you see who was sitting in your seats next to
Oh, yeah. I paused it. You would have saw me. I would have been there.
Oh,
you would have seen me on TV. We probably would have got up and ran on the court, too,
for sure.
with everybody.